My 35M wife, 33F, is secretly receiving money from her ex who she was never married to. My wife of 3 years, with whom I have a 4-year-old son with, recently fell victim to a phishing attempt. Basically, she got an email that looked like it was from a department of a bank we use saying there was a strange transaction that she needed to confirm. After she clicked on it, she realized that our iPad was probably hacked. Luckily, while we are both not very tech-savvy, my brother is, so he came over and said that he'd try to clear our devices of any malware and tell us what exactly is going on. After my brother had left, I was alone and decided to start clicking on all of our money apps to make sure nothing nefarious was going on with our accounts. Luckily, there did not seem to be anything missing from our bank accounts. However, I saw that there was a Western Union app installed, and it was installed in a pretty discreet corner of the iPad, like in a square with a few other random apps. I always associated Western Union with international transactions, so at the moment I thought that my wife definitely wasn't doing any of that, so maybe this was some machination of a hacker that my brother didn't catch. I clicked on the app and everything was logged out. However, when I tried to type in both of our email addresses, the device keychain recognized my wife's email and I got even more suspicious. I knew that most of her passwords were the same, so I got it right on the second try and I logged in. I was mind-boggled to see the transaction history that included several $1,000s, all of which happened before this whole hacking debacle. It showed that she was getting $2,000 at the beginning and the middle of the month, all from the same sender. I then went to the App Store and saw that under Cash App it showed that the app had once been downloaded but had probably recently been deleted. I re-downloaded it and logged in and saw very clearly that the person sending money to my wife was her ex-boyfriend, and she had sent back notes saying thank you and then his nickname. They dated from when she was 24 to when she was 28. He is 49 years old and they broke up because he got divorced young and did not want to marry again, and she realized he wasn't changing his mind. They never had any kids or properties together, nor was he cheating on somebody with her, keeping their relationship a secret, so it is honestly beyond me why he would need to have any more contact with her, especially now that he lives in Europe half of the time. I confronted my wife on this and I told her that I thought that he was out of her life entirely, yet here she was sending messages to him with stars in her eyes, basically massaging his ego. I did not know what was going on. My wife said that she's sorry and she didn't mean to, but they just kept in contact and became friendly exes. She said, you know his type, he can be very charming when he wants to be, and sometimes he says something funny or is depressed because of his line of business and wants to vent to somebody. She got upset when I told her I didn't accept that answer because no joke is worth that much money. Especially when it's being paid consistently every month. She finally admitted that she had told him that the business I was starting was losing money and that I was only bringing home $45,000 a year after paying my employees, and that he told her the industry I was in, wholesale goods, was a tough one and too saturated with competition for me to turn a profit for a couple of years or have any reasonable hope of succeeding. I had started this business 2 years ago after I lost my job, and my wife's graphic design business was also dead in the water. She said she had started venting to him about how we're falling behind on our bills and he decided to help her out. She even said that he would tell me the same if I asked him. That later turned out to be a lie, and it was soon clear that her ex in no way wanted to contact me in any shape or fashion. This all happened a week ago and I told her that I would give up my business and try to get another job, starting at the bottom if I had to for the consistent income. But I did not want her accepting any more money from this guy and trying to pass off part of it as money from her business, which doesn't even have a functioning website anymore, and then her keeping the rest of it Lord knows where. But the more that I am left alone to think, the more that I cannot imagine sleeping in the same bed with my wife anymore. I do not know if I can ever trust her again because she will not say anything except that she did not sleep with him and that an ex would just give her money just to be his friend. In addition, I am getting the most dread-filled thoughts about the possibility that my son is not mine. That could explain everything very easily, and while I don't make the money her ex makes, we do have the same hair color and eye color. What do I do? My wife keeps pleading with me that she'll stop accepting money and that I needed to trust her again, but I know she will flip out at the thought of a paternity test. I am living in misery. I thought I had a loving marriage to an honest woman. Even though we argued about the fact that she wanted our lifestyle to stay the same while I was building up my business, I thought we were communicating with each other. I also thought that the money she put in our accounts were from her graphic design business finally getting clients, but that was wrong as well. My first thought was, secret child support, after only reading the "For Yo Son Married 3 Years" and the post title. She either lied to him and said it's his kid, and he doesn't want to be a parent so he agreed to this arrangement. Or she's lying to you and saying it's your kid. To me it's the only logical explanation. I mean, get a paternity test done. She has shown she is untrustworthy. Her reasons for him sending money are absolute BS. Who in their right mind would do that? So you're thinking this money may be covert child support? Oof, this is a doozy. I would suspect that they either have a sugar baby relationship, which may or may not include hookups, or it is child support. Your wife will not tell you the truth. Start documenting everything ASAP and look into discreet paternity testing. Good luck, Chuck. I, 21 female, am on the verge of an ultimatum, but it'll destroy my family. So some backstory so this situation makes sense. I, 21 female, grew up with a single mother, 42, and an older brother, 23 male. We were born out of marriage and this was why we were, least, favored by our grandmother, grandfather growing up compared to our cousins. My mom has one sister and 2 brothers. My cousin, Chrissy 22F, was always the golden child when it came to a majority of my family along with her siblings, 25 female, 18 male, 26 male, 26 female. She was a heavy childhood bully of mine. It was even worse when I graduated high school early, but the rest of the family was too busy to attend her pageant. Only my mother, her 4 friends, and my brother attended. Anyways, on to the issue. I dated, almost was engaged, to Jack, 22M, for 3 years. Y'all, I was in so much deep love with him. Our relationship came to an end when he became cold and just abruptly ended it with no explanation. Not even an excuse. Just gone. It took me 10 months of hard work and learning self-love to not be in pain anymore. He hadn't crossed my mind for 5 months afterwards until this week. Chrissy announced that she is expecting and having a baby boy. The thing is, she never mentioned a boyfriend until she said Jack. Then a whole ass bomb was dropped on me. They started seeing each other 3 months nearing the end of our relationship. I just felt like dying. Of course my grandparents were jumping for joy, and based on her reaction to my face I'm guessing she could tell I wasn't thrilled. I basically was scolded for not being happy for family, that I'm a jealous bitch, and need to let go of my past. I just drove back home and now I'm typing this while having a few beers. I'm trying to not beat myself up. I really am considering an ultimatum for my grandparents. Be in my cousins, her baby's life, and I stopped paying for their medicine, never ate in bills, so they'd be homeless, and cut contact or cut my cousin off and keep everything. It's selfish of me to have these thoughts, but I can't even tolerate Chrissy having everything while I seem to be thrown in the dark. UGHH. I'm probably just rambling. To add, my grandparents were never abusive. In recent years, they have owned up and made an effort to build a better relationship. Can I ask why you are paying them anything when apparently they've basically openly hated you for 21 years? What is emotionally attaching you to these people at all? How do your mother and brother feel about your grandparents? The fact that your whole family knew about this relationship and no one clued you and then judged you on your reaction tells me everything. Go find peace and cut all your family off. Also, I agree with other poster. She'll get what's coming to her when he does the same to her. My partner's family doesn't agree with 50-50. My partner, F26, and I, M24, are very early in our careers. We've been together for over 3 years with no major problems. We both make around the same amount of money. She makes roughly $2K more since she gets bonuses and I don't. We split rent and bills down the middle. 50-50. We both cook and clean and I do the laundry since I'm particular with how my clothes are washed and dried. There are more parts of the relationship besides money and chores, but just know that we agree that we do everything evenly and prefer our relationship to be like this. The problem is that her family thinks that I should be giving money to her for doing that. Or contributing more to the relationship by doing all the cooking and cleaning or taking all the bills. We both agreed that we like 50-50 since we make the same amount, but if I were to make more in the future, I'd take on more of the costs so we can both live more comfortably. Her family doesn't want me around as much because of this, which makes things harder on our relationship. They don't understand why I don't buy her expensive things like plus $5,000 designer bags or pay for the vacations we take. Her sisters insist that I need to do these things since their husbands work 65 to 75 hours a week to do so for them. Do I ask them to stop commenting on my relationship? Am I just a a-hole? What are your thoughts? Why are your families even knowledgeable about how you're splitting housework and finances? Why is her family telling you to buy her Hermes bags? Here's what it comes to. Hey partner, your family has been writing me about our financial split. Are you happy with things? Is there something you want to change? And when she says, no, I actually think we're doing great, you say, could you talk to your family, because they're making me feel badly about not buying you Hermes for your birthday. My wife asked me for a quickie this morning and I said no, so she retaliated. She works from home. I was leaving for work this morning and I get up and leave before she even wakes up. This time however, she said she was really horny and wanted a quickie. I wasn't in the mood. She told me why I just can't do this for her, and pulled the "because I'm pregnant" trope, implying I should just do it. She then started crying, and I think she was trying to make me feel bad. Is this just sexual frustration or something else? You're allowed to say no to sex and any decent partner should respect you. Trying to give her the benefit of the doubt here, and I'm going to assume it was hormones and not her trying to emotionally manipulate you. You're allowed to say no. Always, for any reason. However, crying while pregnant is not retaliation. She's hormonal, she's miserable, and she got her feelings hurt. You'll live. Hormones and with her body going through changes, she was probably looking for sex as a reassurance you're still attracted to her. Even if you can't see much, anything yet, she is prob feeling fat and unsexy. Give her lots of affirmation through her pregnancy, but you're still defiantly in your right to say no.